And now Nick Ellerby's with us in the studio. Nick, what have you got for us?
What have you got, Nick?
Yeah, morning, boys. Usually we like to keep politics out of sport here on talkSPORT, but sometimes, you can't really stop the clash of these two spheres of the of the world. Now, Nottingham Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis has made some eyebrow-raising comments suggesting Ukraine should give away land to Russia to help stop the war there. Just days after the club signed Ukraine footballer Alexander Zinchenko. Amazingly, Marinakis actually clashed with Boris Johnson at an economic summit in Greece on Thursday. We know Boris is a huge supporter of Ukraine.
What was Boris Johnson doing at an economic summit?
He'll take the money for speaking absolutely anywhere, as we are well aware. Now, Marinakis and Johnson were talking about Vladimir Putin's war in Ukraine. When Marinakis made these comments, here are the quotes. Marinakis says, "What I would prefer is for children to stop dying." I think we can all agree there.
And that's a fair point.
And let Russia keep some of Ukraine's territory and stop this war. That's a fair compromise. Let's stop the war. Boris Johnson asked him, well, how much of Ukraine would you hand over? Boris getting quite heated at this stage. How much of Ukraine would be fair to hand over to the aggressor to stop the war? How much of Czechoslovakia would you have given to Hitler? Marinakis says it's not the same. Johnson, it is the same. It's exactly the same. It's identical. This is Boris Johnson saying, if we're weak now, we'll pay for it later on. So these comments have caused a lot of, a lot of consternation, certainly in Ukraine. This morning I've spoken to British-Ukrainian football journalist Andrew Todos, and I started by asking him what reaction there's been in Ukraine to Marinakis' comments.
They've not gone down well, to say the least. The majority of the Ukrainian media, lots of high-profile figures have reacted extremely, as expected, disappointed and angry at those comments, especially with the context that Zinchenko has just moved there. We will see what the reaction is going forward once Zinchenko actually ends up going to Forest, because he's not been there yet due to the international break. But it's not the best of starts, and knowing Marinakis' history, we probably should not have been that surprised.
And do we have any idea of how Zinchenko's feeling about this personally?
He's not made any comments relating to the incident just yet, but however, I think it went viral post Ukraine-France. And as a result of that, there might be a few opportunities to ask him about that in the coming days towards the end of this international break. Just yesterday, his international teammate, Georgi Sudakov, he plays for Benfica, had his apartment building partially destroyed by a Russian Shahed drone. So Zinchenko shared that. Evidently, he remains a Ukraine United 24 ambassador, which is Zelensky's charitable foundation. And as a result of that, I'm sure that he is not sitting particularly well if you add on top of the fact that he's not in the Europa League squad either.
So we could expect maybe some comments in the next couple of days, some reaction from Zinchenko, who's with Ukraine at the moment on international duty. Bit of background, this war started in February 2014, and then in February 2022, this is Putin's war, really. He invaded Ukraine. There have been 14,000 casualties, at least so far, 800 of those children. We know Alexander Zinchenko is a supporter of Ukraine's President Zelensky. We spoke to him a couple of years back around that game for Ukraine that we covered to support families affected by the war. And here's what Zinchenko said about Zelensky and his support.
Using that opportunity, I told him from my side and from my family that we are so proud of our president. All this process, how people work around, it's incredible. The energy, the commitment, I'm pretty sure with these people, Ukraine have a bright future.
So Zinchenko, supporter of Zelensky and obviously a supporter of what's happening back home to his country. And I think we can expect this story to run for a couple of days and expecting to hear from Zinchenko on this.
Why would you get yourself involved? Why, that's the baffling thing. Was he sucked into it? I mean, that is something that you would absolutely steer clear of.
Well, we know Marinakis is absolutely, he doesn't shy away of saying the controversial.
Well, for sure. But, I mean, it is controversial. Could you imagine he's probably alienated? His opinion wouldn't be certainly the minority in this country. But as you say, he's entitled to his opinion. But I tell you what a can of worms that could open.
Absolutely. And, to sort of back up what Marinakis is saying, what he wants is for the war to stop and for the killing to stop.
We all do, yeah.
Giving territory away to an aggressor is maybe not the best way forward.
Look, the thoughts of Evangelos Marinakis are the least of Ukrainians' concerns at the moment.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.